Hello, my name is Kevin with KLM Audio. Welcome to my 9th video on the Behringer XR18 mixer and how to use EQ with an iPad. If you need help turning on your system and connecting to the iPad to your mixer, please refer back to my first video. And of course, if you like what you see, please subscribe and ring my bell to receive further notifications of future videos. As you can see, I already have a couple things connected to my mixer. I have an Ethernet cable which extends to my TP external router. I have one speaker connected to the left main output, one speaker connected to the auxiliary bus 1 for a monitor. I have a wireless microphone connected to channel 9, a dynamic microphone connected to channel 10, and I have my MP3 player connected to line 17 and 18 auxiliary input. All these are for sound on the video. Today, let's talk a little bit about EQ. There are a lot of philosophies about EQ. On the main or auxiliary outputs, I use EQ to eliminate harsh sounds for feedback. On the channel strip, I use it to shape the sound to help each instrument or vocals room to perform. Many people think of EQ as you do on a stereo or a car radio, bass, mid, and treble. This has been carried over to the analog mixer, which has similar settings. However, the rule is to cut, not boost, to avoid feedback. So let's first look at the channel strip EQ. So I will select vocal channel 10. Then I will select EQ at the top. This is a peak EQ. It has 4 positions to choose from. The first 3 are set up as peak EQs, and the 4th is set up as a high shelf. You can change the type of EQ by highlighting the one you want to change. So let's change the left EQ. Go over to the right section and highlight the PEQ box, and a drop-down menu will appear. Select the low cut, similar to a high-pass filter. If we look at the frequency chart below, we will see the range for male vocals. Starts around 70 Hertz, so let's adjust the low cut EQ accordingly. And looking at the chart, the male vocal fullness is 120 Hertz. So let's adjust the second peak EQ up a little and around 120 Hertz and widen its width, and that should help his vocals stand out in this frequency. You can do this 2 ways. You can either select the peak EQ and move it over to 120, or you can come down here to the frequency and change it, and it'll show up in this window. Then we will raise it, because that's where we want it to come through, and we can widen its width over here on the dial, so that area is covered by the male vocals. So let's change the third peak EQ to a VEQ. So we select it, we come over here, we select the VEQ, and now you can see as we adjust it down or to the side, how it affects our EQ. You can change the position of the frequency by either moving the EQ with your finger or using the dial. You can change the width of the band by using the dial. Now let's look at the EQ on the main outputs. So we'll select the main and EQ, and here you can select a peak EQ, but normally you would probably choose a graphic or true EQ. Here's what AI states about the difference. To understand the difference between the true EQ and the graphic EQ, consider the following points. Functionality. True EQ adjusts frequencies based on the acoustic environment, while graphic EQs provide fixed frequency bands for manual adjustments. 2. Precision. True EQs offer more precise control over specific frequencies, whereas graphic EQs allow for a broader adjustment. 3. User interface. True EQ often uses software with visual feedback, while the graphic EQ typically features physical sliders for each frequency band. 4. Application. True EQ is commonly used in professional settings for room tuning, while graphic EQ is popular in live sound and music productions. 5. Flexibility. True EQ can adapt to changing acoustics, while graphic EQ settings remain static unless manually adjusted. 6. Cost. True EQ systems can be more expensive due to their advanced technology, while graphic EQs are generally more affordable. Since we are doing live sound, let's select graphic EQ. Here you will see 31 frequencies that you can adjust. Again, it's better to cut than to raise. The primary goal is to remove feedback. So say you are getting feedback around 400 hertz. Then first we cut 400. You then may have to cut at 315 and 500, depending on how the feedback responds. So in conclusion, the peak EQ on the channel strip is where you go to help emphasize each instrument or vocal. The true EQ or graphic EQ on the main or bus outputs is mainly used to cut out unwanted frequencies and to prevent feedback. The next video will be on DCAs and mute groups. Again, if you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to my channel. Ring the bell for further notifications of my next video in a series for the Behringer XR18. Thanks. I am Kevin with KLM Audio.